Welcome to Jetmir, Nexus of Revels. As far as our opening hand goes, yeah, we'll keep on this one. I like this. We'll keep. We've got Birds of Paradise. We've got Farhaven Elf. We've got some card draw and Unexpected Windfall. And we've got a pretty good chunk of ramp. So, yes, we will definitely keep on this one. And I haven't played against Aesi in a while, so I'm actually very excited to see what our opponent's got rocking over there. And, yeah, let's have some fun. But, yes, welcome to Jetmir, Landfall, or Land Swing, Landslide, whatever you want to call it. We're going to have some fun today. We can go for turn 1 Faithless Looting, but I really like ramping, and especially Birds of Paradise out there. So, let's go and lead off with Scalding Tarn. Let's go and grab ourselves a red-green source. I think that sounds like a pretty good plan. I think we'll grab probably Taiga, and then let's go for Birds of Paradise and anything else. Let's go and pass the turn over to our opponent. We're playing Jetmir, Nexus of Revels. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and have have vigilance as long as you control 3 or more creatures. Creatures you control get +1/+0, have trample as long as you control 6 or more. +1/+0, have double strike as long as you control 9 or more creatures. So hey, there we go, partner. That's a commander. Let's have some fun with that. Let's go and lead off with, Crucible. We'll go ahead and play that. And then we can go for Worn Power Stone, and that'll immediately be 2 extra mana next turn for Skyshroud Claim, and then we can try to rip into Farhaven Elf, potentially. I think that sounds like a good plan. So let's go and tap down for Worn Power Stone. Get down Worn Power Stone, and then anything else. We will pass the turn to our opponent. Playing gets Aesi. And then playing gets Aesi, so you may play an additional land on each of your turns. Then whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. So that is a very Simic commander in itself. And man, it's been a long time since I've played it. But I remember Aesi just being a very fun commander. That's just getting to draw a card from a land drop. Man, that's that is some good magic. All right, so with Skyshroud Claim, yeah, I think we do this. So we just end up going Skyshroud Claim because it's going to be 2 untapped sources. And so let's go Skyshroud Claim. We're going to grab 2 forests. Let's go ahead and grab ourselves a Savannah. And that'll be 1, 2, 3. And we still have the land drop for the turn. I guess we just end up grabbing, because they enter the battlefield untapped. And we still should have the land drop for the turn because that's going to be Sacred Founder. So we can shock that in and still go for that. So let's actually grab Jetmir's Garden. Enters the battlefield tap. Let's go and shock in Sacred Foundry. Let's go for Farhaven Elf. Grab ourselves a basic. And I think what we'll do is end up grabbing a red source because we tend to, well, let's go and grab another green source. I think actually we'll do that. Let's go and grab another green source. Let's go and grab a forest. That comes into play tapped, and then anything else, we will pass the turn over to our opponent. So what we can do, we have Lightning Bolt in the hand. What we can do is we can swing with Farhaven Elf and then Lightning Bolt Courser of Crewfix if we see fit. So we'll see what's going to happen with that. So we did cover both commanders. Give a quick shout out to our sponsors, TCG Player. If you go to bit.ly/JoltMTG, that will apply my affiliate link, and that'll allow you to get some cards and help support the channel at the same time. So if you do use that link, much obliged. I certainly appreciate it. All right, so we've got some we got a backlog on some card draw. So let's go Honor the God Pharaoh. Yeah, let's get some card draw going. We could try to go for Jetmir, but that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we can still go for Honor the God Pharaoh if we want to. Yeah, let's try that. Our opponent's got 1 mana up, so let's go for Jetmir, actually. I kind of like doing that. Tap down for Naya Colors. Tap down Worn Power Stone. Let's get Jetmir onto the battlefield. And let's go for Honor the God Pharaoh. Yeah, I think I kind of like that. Tap down for 1. Let's go ahead and discard Unexpected Windfall. So that way, at the very least, we can just kind of Faithless Loot and still kind of rip into some stuff. Ooh, Scut Swarm. Okay. Now we're getting some. Ooh, and then Retreat, too. All right, so we're getting to our creature base. I like this. So let's go and go for Faithless Looting, draw 2, discard 2. I think we're actually okay waiting until next turn. So do we want to push in with our people? I don't think so. We still have that line of play I was talking about with... Well, they have Vigilance. Yeah, let's do that, because that leaves us open on Lightning Bolt. Kind of like that. Yeah, let's give it a shot. All right, so let's go and push in. That's going to be 3 coming across, and we've got Lightning Bolt on Courser of Crewfix. Fall into our trap card. Let's see if they block. Yeah, we got Lightning Bolt over here, and that'll drop it down to 4. Mainly, we want to get rid of that extra land drop off the top of our library. All right, opponent's going to hold off. There we go. Good call. All right, so the... just Farhaven Elf, just shanking Corsair Crewfix. All right, so we dropped it down to 38. It still keeps us open on Lightning Bolt if we need to. We can still faithlessly... Yeah, let's wait till next turn. All right, let's just go and pass the turn. So, opponent's got Gilded Lotus on top of their library. I know we see what's on top of their library. I'm going to try my best to remember what we see, but it's really hard to deliver commentary and kind of filter our game plan out at the same time and kind of do that. So, let's give a quick shout out to MTGOTraders. We can play Magic Online, ingaming.com/Jolt for 10% off your order. And last but not least, I started a Patreon, so if you'd like to directly support cool content like this, there's a link down in the description below. But if you're keeping score at home, it is officially free time, so let's have some fun. But yes, this is exactly what we want to do. Get ahead on lands. What we hope to do is get stuff like Scut Swarm and Feldar Retreat down first, and that way we can get a few extra tokens going. But seeing those at any point in the game is always a nice feeling, especially when we run into Nature's Lore. So let's go ahead and go for Scut Swarm. Be 1, 2, 3. And then let's go ahead and drop in Retreat, because that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and that'll be a Nature's Lore off of Birds of Paradise and Taiga Uppercut. I think that sounds like a good plan. So let's do that. So let's go for Retreat. And then I think we can still leave red up for Lightning Bolt. So let's go for Nature's Lore. That'll put a force onto the battlefield. Let's get this popped out. And yes, so we're going to shock in Stomping Ground. Yes, we're going to pay 2 on that. And let's get these extra tokens going. Oh yeah, look at this. Let's create a white creature token. Because we want to get that volume going. Let's get the creature count going. Alright, so we're gonna get a 2/2 beast token. Get an extra token out there. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, look at that. So we're looking at 3/1. And once again, yeah, we can push past the 7/4. So let's go and push in. Because either way, we've got Lightning Bolt on Corsair of Crewfix, if we wanted to do that. But if we want to make that trade, because that'll be 3. And actually, I think I'm okay with that. With the less creatures out there, the better. Yeah, so let's do that. So let's go for Lightning Bolt on Corsair of Crewfix. And then if they've got a response to it, they do. If not, then we got a clear swing in for next turn. So now what we are looking for next turn is hopefully a land. If we hit a land, because we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that'll be 7, 8. If we hit a fetch land, that'll put us into the 9 territory with Jetmir. And so that's kind of what we're hoping for. So we draw into card for next turn. If we hit a fetch land, we're good. At the very least, we got Faithless Looting to run into another fetch land. And so that'll hopefully allow us to kind of get a few extra creatures out there. But right now, they're going to get Lano War Elves down. That's going to be 9. That's going to be 12, 15, 19, 22. Yeah, we've got a big chunk of damage coming across for next turn. And even if we don't make a token, we can just put a +1 counter on each creature you control. That's another good option too. So that'd be 22 plus 6. That'll be like 28. Yeah, we might be able to get it. Let's see. Let's see what's happening. Okay, so see what we draw into. There we go. Run into Flooded Strand. So let's drop in Flooded Strand. Oh, yeah. I'm digging this. All right, we're going to get the creature count going. And I think what we'll end up doing with Scut Swarm, we're going to get the creature count. So we're going to start dumping +1 counters on Feldar Retreat. So let's get the... I think actually we could have stacked that just a little bit better. But that happens sometime. Let's go and crack Flooded Strand. And grab ourselves a Plateau, because that'll enter the battlefield untapped. And let's get the... Alright, opponent's going to scoop it up on that one. So we'll get the triggers on the stack, but we're going to get it on this one. So we'll get the last trigger on the stack, that +1 counter. Alright, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to get extra tokens out there. We're definitely going to get past the point of where we get +1 and they have double strike. And so once we get to that double strike territory, they can only block on 1 creature. And then with Feldar Retreat, instead of using it as a token enabler, we're going to be able to put those +1 counters on them. That's going to be more than enough to kind of close it out. So you can see with Jetmir, even if you're just building like this landfall deck, you can still get the body count, the creature count going pretty high to where it's really not that hard to get to 9 creatures. And yeah, look at this board state. Hey, we'll take it. But anyways, if you enjoyed the video, hey, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye. Welcome to Jetmir, Nexus of Revels. As far as our opening hand goes, we've got 2 lands. And we do have some token enablers with Retreat and a finisher with Kamal's Will. And we're on the draw? Yeah, I guess we keep on this one. We don't have any ramp, and so we're really just hoping to get to honor the god Pharaoh. But yeah, I kind of like this. We'll keep. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we run into that 3rd land, and so we can get honor the god Pharaoh going and get some ramp going. But yes, welcome to Jetmir. Hope you're excited to get just a ton of creatures on the battlefield. We are playing against Tatyova. So we will We'll see how this Tatyova goes. Let's see. All right, so we run into Cathartic, so that's a little bit more card draw. Let's go and lead off with, I guess at this point we'll lead off with Prismatic Vista, and that comes into play untapped, so we're actually good. We can just kind of leave that open for right now. So anything else, we will pass the turn. We're playing Jetmir, Nexus of Revels. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and have vigilance as long as you control 3 or more creatures. +1/+0 and get trample with 6 creatures. +1/+0 double strike as long as you control 9 or more creatures. And we got a coral eel from our Tatyova opponent. I'm excited. All right, so we do run into Marsh Flats. So let's go and drop that down, and then anything else we'll pass the turn to our opponent. We're playing against Tatyova. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life and draw a card. So we'll see what sort of flavor of Tatyova we're playing against. But we got the, if you're keeping score at home, you may need to make a new score sheet, or a new score category for Coral Eel, but we're going to be getting in for Coral Eel for 2, and that drops us down to 38. We'll see what else they roll out. If not, then we're going to crack Prismatic and Marsh Flats and get this Cathartic. We got Walking's Fun. Man, this is great. I love this. I don't know what our opponent's up to, but this is fun. All right, so let's go. We have a lot of green. We can grab a red-white source off of Marsh Flats. Let's do that. So let's grab a forest. Let's crack Marsh Flats. And first of all, look at that art. That's some beautiful art. So we'll get that down. Let's go for Cathartic. And we're going to draw and discard up to 2 cards. There we go. So we're going to dig just a little bit deeper. We're going to hit that 3rd land for next turn. I mean, we've got Boseiju, but we're okay. And I think at this point, what we'll probably end up doing is probably drop Kamal's Will. And then, actually, I think I'm cool with Honor the God Pharaoh, because the rest of the stuff we kind of want to hit. Now, we could drop March of the Multitudes. Actually, yeah, I think I'm actually okay with March of the Multitudes, because we've got some more. Oh, Sylvan Awakening. All right. All right, so that's pretty good, yeah, because we've got a way to kind of reanimate lands once we got rid of Kamal's Will. It's 1 less. We've got 2 token enablers in Turn Timber and Retreat, and then with Nature's Lore, we'll be able to get that going. So I think what we'll end up doing is probably getting down Turn Timber for next turn, and then that way we can get down Turn Timber. That will be Boseiju, and then we can Nature's Lore to get an extra token on the battlefield. So we'll see what our opponent's got brewing over there, but it might end up just being Tatyova sea creatures. Like the, yeah, let's get Boseiju down, and we'll talk about that here in a second. Let's get down Turn Timber. And one of the nice things about Jetmir is that we don't have to, we're not in a rush to get down Jetmir sometimes. You still need to develop that creature base, so that's the name of the game. So anything else, we're going to pass the turn to our opponent. So we did cover both commanders. Give a quick shout out to our sponsors, TCG Player. If you go to bit.ly/JoltMTG, that will apply my affiliate link. That'll allow you to get some cards and help support the channel at the same time. So if you do use that link, much obliged. I certainly appreciate it. Let's give a quick shout out to MTGOTraders, inkgaming.com/Jolt for 10% off of your order. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to directly support cool content like this, there's a link down in the description below. But if you're keeping score at home at the zoo or the aquarium bust open, it is officially free time. So let's have some fun. All right. So we run into Elvish Mystic. I think we do want to, yeah, let's go for Elvish Mystic. We can get down Elvish Mystic, and then we can go for Nature's Lore to get an extra land onto the battlefield. And that should enter the battlefield untapped. And we'll grab a red-green source off of that. I think that sounds like a pretty good. I guess we grab Taiga. And we get Taiga down, and then we go for Findhorn Elves. There we go. Oh, and actually, excuse me, a Turn Timber. It's whenever a land is put into the graveyard. So I got a little goofed up on that. So that is my fault. Anything else, we will pass the turn over to our opponent. But yes, it is officially free time. The Tatyova Aquarium is spilt over, and they are angry and attacking the people at the zoo. So we'll see what's going on. Let's take a... We know what's in Jetmir, but let's... So we've got Sand Squid, Island Walk. You may choose not to untap it. Tap target creature. Doesn't untap for as long as you control Sand Squid. We got no... Boy, this is some deep cuts over here. Alright, target creature loses... Sorry, there's just sometimes when you play Magic and you're hyped against Tatyova, you're like, alright, I know what Tatyova can do. Tatyova's going to draw a ton of cards, they're going to get a bunch of crazy stuff out there, and then we just get like a coral eel out there that is just keeping our elves at bay. And this is what makes Magic great. I love it. Alright, so we'll see what we draw into for the turn. We have card advantage we can go for. Alright, that's going to be Farhaven Elf. Unfortunately, we can't get down I'd like to get a few more creatures on the battlefield. So I think what we end up doing is we go for retreat. Yeah, let's do that. And I want to get these creatures established. So we go for retreat, and that's going to give us a creature for next turn. And then next turn, we can start digging into Honor the God Pharaoh, Farhaven Elf, and see what else our opponent's up to. So we will pass the turn over to our opponent. But yes, with Jetmir, yeah, my goodness, is okay. I want to make sure. Okay, target creature loses choice of whatever. All right, so it's going to be Naturalize on retreat, and yeah, we've got the crew coming in on this one. All right, so we need to get something moving pretty quick. This is, even though these are little sea creatures, we do need to get something going on our side of the battlefield. Okay, so we have no way to make creatures right now. So I guess we have Honor the God Pharaoh, 1, 2, 3, and then we have 1, 2, 3 with Farhaven Elf, which gives us a few extra creatures. So let's go for Honor the God Pharaoh. And since we don't have a way to generate a ton of, we're going to get rid of Anointed Procession right now because we need fetch lands for Turn Timber. So we're going to go Honor the God Pharaoh. That's going to give us an extra army token on the battlefield. Ooh, we do run into Heroic Intervention. Let's go Farhaven Elf. And that way we can get an extra land on the battlefield. And we'll grab a basic, and I think what we'll end up doing is we have 2 red sources, 2 green sources. We'll probably end up just grabbing a plains off of this because you never know, we might need that. And then anything else, pass it over to our opponent. So we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's going to be 6 total mana, or 6 total creatures with Jetmir when we get it down for next turn. And that'll be 7 with Druid, and then potentially hitting 9 in some form or fashion with Sylvan Awakening. So I think that's going to be the thing that we're trying to do, is getting a is it getting some sort of swing in all board state, but we'll see. But yes, you know, this is what I was saying earlier, is when you play against Tatyova, you're like, all right, I know what's going to happen. We're going to get Azusa, we're going to get extra land drops, we're going to have all this happen, and then you have the Sea Force 1 that's swinging in. The aquarium fell over, so. But yes, this makes me happy seeing this, because I think when I built Tatyova, just to showcase how silly Tatyova could be, is I built Tatyova birds, and it's just like Bird Tribal and Simic, just to showcase how nutty it is. Okay, so let's get the creatures going. So let's get the force down onto the battlefield. Let's get Jetmir onto the battlefield, and what we're also going to be doing, so we can get down Druid, and we can still leave up Heroic Intervention. I think that sounds good. So we're going to tap down Findhorn Elves, actually, so that way they have no way to kind of tap down our creatures. So we're going to get down Druid. And so now we're looking at 3/1s with Trample Vigilance, and that's still Island Walk. We'll still end up kind of losing a couple different creatures if we swing in. I'd like to try to set up a Sylvan Awakening if possible, because that'll be 1, 2, 3. So let's just pass the turn. He's looking at a 3/3. Yeah, they're going to tap down the Sower. And so that's a 3/1. We can still make a trade with Tatyova if we want to. Tatyova or the Walking Sponge. Yeah, I think we still send in the army token. We still have Vigilance, and if they want to make some trades on these, I think we're good with that. And at the very least, if for some reason we want to hold on to these creatures, we can still end up going Heroic Intervention if something just gets absolutely nutty. So, but yeah, so let's do that. So we're going to swing in for 9, and we'll see if they offer up any blocks from the aquarium. And if they want to make a trade on that, that's perfectly fine. It'll be 1/1. I think we might Heroic Intervention to maintain our creature base on this one. I kind of like that. Let's do that. So let's go Heroic Intervention. We have to save our zombie and our elf from an eel in a sponge. And okay. All right, so they're going to lose Trample off of the Walking Sponge on Elvish Mystic. Okay. And I do apologize. I'm not super fresh on Walking Sponge activation, so I'm going to try to keep that in mind. All right, so we're going to get in a little bit of extra damage. We've kind of cleared some of those creatures out. Now it's going to make our swing just a little bit better, and then pass the turn over to our opponent. All right, so we maintain our creature base. Next turn, we're looking at Sylvan Awakening. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then that'll be more than enough to animate our lands and turn them into creatures. So we will be making a bigger push in there. The main thing is, do we want to try to push in, because that'll be double strike, and that'll pretty much, depending on what they get out there, unless they just get this monstrous sea creature out there right now, if we go in for a double strike swing with the entire crew, that's going to be able to clean up a lot of what they've got on the battlefield. So if they get into the 4 power toughness, all right, so we've got a clinging, we've got the jellyfish out there, which is going to stop the double strike. And let's see what this is. This is, sorry, there's just sometimes, man, when you see cards that you have not seen in a very long time, exchange control. All right, so now we've got, our opponent has Island Walk established for their aquarium creatures. But yeah, I still think we end up going for Sylvan Awakening next turn. I think that's what we need to do. I like that. All right, so let's see what we draw into for the turn. Stomping Ground. All right, so we're going to go and shock that in. And we're going to make sure, yes, we're going to pay 2 on that. Let's go for Sylvan Awakening. So it's going to be green, and we tap down white, and then green. So it's going to turn all of our lands into 2/2 elementals, indestructible. They gain haste. And so we're going to try, oh, look at that. And then we're going to get the entire crew swinging in. Yes. All right, attack with all creatures. And they have vigilance too. All right, so we're swinging in. So that is a huge amount of damage. So we're going to see how they're going to block on this one. I don't know if it's enough to close the game out. But with double strike, because they can only block 4 creatures. All right, opponent's going to scoop it up on that one. So good game to our opponent. This was not the most streamlined Tatyova deck, but my goodness, seeing all these sea creatures out here, this was absolutely a treat. So I like seeing that. So, but anyways, this is exactly what we want to do, Jetmir. Get a high volume of creatures out there. Use something like Sylvan Awakening to polish up that number. You know, we're sitting at 6 or 7 creatures, and then we use Sylvan Awakening to push way past the 9. And you can see, you know, we've got a 5/2 indestructible, double strike. And but yeah, if you're building Jetmir, toss Sylvan Awakening in there, because if you're ever running light on creatures, you can't get to that 9. Sylvan Awakening will get you there. But anyway, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.